We're recording. So, hello everybody from the Pages program. I have the flu or something, a mild form of it. So, bear with me if my sultry voice is a little different than usual. So, anyway, what I'm going to show you guys today is how to do the cut up with the collaging. And the goal with this, I set it up to where this will be designed for in class. So this is basically what I'm going to take your students through. So I went ahead and actually set up the cut up already, so that I can get that part over with. I used nothing more than glue on this to put it down. So we'll have glue sticks and regular glue for them to use. So anyway, the cut up I came up with, it says boundless. The morality of the tail does wear dark blue jeans and wield decisions about life or were there. So part of this I don't like, which is the last part of the sentence, which is or were there. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and mark that out. So now it reads, boundless, the morality of the tail does wear dark blue jeans and wield decisions about life. So now that makes a little bit more sense to me personally. And I was talking to my girlfriend about what she envisioned when she heard that or read that. And she thought of James Dean. Hence the fact, the picture of James Dean right here. Seeing, is this turned up all the way brightness wise?
Yes.
Okay. So with this part, the students should have access to their phones, or if they have a tablet or something like that. If not a big deal. They can work from their imagination. But with these students being writers and not artists, this is a really good tool to help them. So anyway, there's two ways you can draw James Dean on the page. It can either be from looking at it and drawing it, which takes a long time and it's pretty difficult, or we can take the device and put it underneath the paper. Now it doesn't show up too well, but it shows up just enough to draw it. So what I'm going to do is turn out my desk lamp light so it shows up a little better. So it may not read that well on camera, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do here is just trace the image of James Dean, since I established this as my main narrative. And I know that it's probably not PC to draw a picture of somebody smoking, but that's kind of what James Dean, he's an icon. So I apologize if I offend anyone, but you know, we're all adults here. So as you can see, so I'm getting my outline of James Dean. Okay, so as you can see, really simple, nothing too much. You have to give him a nose, right? And it doesn't matter if it's accurate or not, because we can embellish all of these things. So I take away the iPad from underneath. Let's turn this light back on. So what you can see, I'm left with an outline of James Dean. Now the reason this would be really good for your students is because if they're not confident about drawing, this is a perfect valid form of executing their image. Okay? So let's go back to it, to the words, and see what kind of inspiration we get. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. Boundless, the morality of the tail does wear dark blue jeans and wield decisions about life. Okay? So when I think about life, I think of like life and death. So let's go ahead and sketch out kind of like something to blend James Dean down into an image. Kind of give it a little bit of body. So with this, he has on a jacket. Now I'm referencing the drawing. as I'm drawing James Dean. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the words, about the cut up, how it makes me think. Like I say, I think of life and death. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, like I said, drawing a grave, and maybe like something represent birth. So maybe like a seed or a flower blooming. So the other materials that I have here that we'll be using with the students is nothing more than a pencil, a regular pencil, mechanical or number 2, Sharpies, 2 different sizes. We got a 3rd size also, and then whiteout pens. These whiteout pens are really cool because you can erase. So for example, you saw that I blacked out, and that's the technique I learned from Dion. We can actually go over it also with whiteout to give it a nice clean look. So as you can see, that does that. So anyway, so now let's go ahead and make it look a little bit more like James Dean, while we continue to think about how we want to make the rest of the image look. So as I come up with different ideas for the image, I can kind of like, so since I know that I'm going to do like a grave, because even with James Dean, we know that his death was, he died too early kind of thing. People reference that when it comes to him. So we can draw like a kind of like a cemetery kind of scene, right? Plus it's near Halloween, so as you can see, it's just drawing really simple ideas. We're just laying down thoughts, right? So the way this will apply to the Picasso exhibition is that we can do a few exercises with them, which will include where they can write the descriptions of the paintings and what they see and what inspires them and how it makes them feel, and then transcribe that visually as a cut up, so they can literally cut up their words, right, and put them into a cut up form, and then that might bring a new visual to the Picasso exhibition. Okay, so then we want something that represents life. So I'll go ahead and pull this iPad out of the way, and so we'll think of things that are joyous. Actually, I really like the iconic rising sun, the Japanese one. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. That's a good symbol for life, right? Okay. So as you can see, I'm keeping it pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And it says wearing dark blue jeans and wielding decisions about life. Okay. So actually I kind of like where this one's at. It's pretty simple. And like I said, it doesn't have to be overly complicated like I made with the other one. It could be something this simple. So with that being said, I'll create another one with the Picasso theme so that you guys can see what that looks like. But in this one, I'll just go ahead and keep it pencil because I think it works really well. And like I said, nothing difficult, nothing complex. The idea is that we're just running through these ideas. And that's the great thing about with the students is that they'll be able to do this. Because if we have a 45-minute class, it has to be something this simple that gets them a quality of a standard. All of them have to meet like a standard of a quality. I know I'm rambling on a little bit, but that's what's important to me is like making sure everyone gets like a consistent like level of quality. Nothing shoddy or shabby. But by being able to produce these really fast using these techniques, I think that we'll be able to achieve that. So, yep, that's the end of this first video. Like I said, I'll make another one with the Picasso. I have a awesome Picasso book, so we'll move on to that one. See you in a few.